Zebidiah Funkutter. Thank you. And welcome to Helter Shelter. Having done this for 3 years and 2 months now, the answer is yes, it most definitely does work. I have profited $21,500 in tenant rent collected, have saved $27,200 in rental payments, and approximately $13,600 in automobile expenses. Yeehaw! This $62,300 bonanza sure beats the hell out of sniffing burlap. Those who have the capacity to question conventional wisdom will always be at a distinct advantage. Getting yourself into a really good living situation may require time and effort. This is actually a good thing, since common folk will not put forth the effort, leaving less competition for you. Zeb's 2 favorite alternative housing methods are living on the road. Please see the 2 episodes titled 8 Crazy Years Living on the Road, and this one, controlling a property. For the most part, avoid rental agencies. They are generally more expensive, less flexible, and have less favorable, non-negotiable terms with a my way or the highway attitude. Instead, rent directly from the owner, preferably an out-of-town owner. Their telephone area code will be a strong clue as you hunt down your new dwelling by way of Craigslist, local newspapers, online real estate sites, or physically driving or bicycling the neighborhood of interest. Negotiating is all about leverage. Once again, in life you don't always get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. Look, there are only 2 answers to be given. One of them is yes. Negotiating is a lifelong endeavor, so you may as well get good at it. We do it with our children, our bosses, our finances, and even with our leisure. The Lord wants a headache-free tenant, and you want a hassle-free place to live that is reasonably priced. Being courteous and having commonalities are additional arrows in your quiver. Step 2 is a sincere pledge to take extraordinary care of her property and to take care of all small problems. Plus, of course, proof that you can and will afford the rent should seal the deal. Reinforce your seriousness and how much you dig her property and the neighborhood while stating that you would like to stay for a long period of time. Tell her that you travel quite often, and so that neither of you would have to fiddle with sending or receiving rent, you are prepared to give her $30,000 on the spot for a 2-year prepaid lease. The rent was listed at $1,500 a month, but there is not a whole heck of a lot one can do with $1,500. But your landlord-to-be can picture plenty she can do with $30,000. This is a win-win scenario, and you just locked in an even more sensible rental rate of $1,250 per month. Primarily for high entertainment value, people Zebidiah Funkutter personally knows have also saved tens of thousands of dollars on their shelter costs. This episode focuses upon how I get paid $6,900 to live in a house. You can too. The ideal rental you are hunting for is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a dining room, a yard, and a garage with an internal house door. The garage is easily transformed into a bedroom, as paneling and bolts of closeout fabric are cheap. If it is a single-car garage, rent it for $495 a month. If it is a double-car garage, it becomes the master suite, and rent this to a couple for $695 per month. The 2 regular bedrooms fetch $565 each per month. And I converted the dining room for my bedroom I affectionately call the Zen pen. Now, look at your leverage and all of the options and possibilities available when controlling a property. I invested 3.5 weeks finding this ideal property, located 45 seconds to the water's edge, and yes, it has a double-car garage. I invested the time and energy as well as the negotiating skills to land this gem of a property, so will therefore not easily relinquish control. I have become the de facto landlord, lording over the realty and pocketing my tenants' monthly cash rental fees, yet have reduced hassles because I prepaid the real landlord. See how you can create your own freedom? See how much less stress will engulf your life? See how additional leisure time is achieved while not having anyone lord over you can engender a high quality of life? And speaking of money, here is the breakdown. Yet the rent is only $1,250. And it really is not overly difficult to achieve. Picture a two-sided scale. The benefits must outweigh the cost to people in regards to where they decide to live. Oops, sorry, wrong clip. Utilize Craigslist or occasionally a local newspaper to advertise roommate wanted. Your ad will tip the scale in your favor because you negotiated smartly to land the property, have reproportioned the dwelling to allow for less expensive lodging, and further tip the scale with the entertainment you provide. At yard sales, you scooped up a basketball hoop and ball for $7, a ping pong table with paddles for $20, a dartboard for $5, and 2 boxes full of DVD movies for $20. Oh, and 4 used bicycles freely scavenged from the alley, plus cornhole and horseshoes bought new for $85. Look at the end result. You are making life easy for the landlord. You are providing very reasonable shelter for others, which also includes entertainment. You have completely eliminated the most expensive aspect of living, one's shelter. And although this next scenario is a bit more difficult to achieve, I have been successful at eliminating the expenses of owning an automobile, saving roughly $6,000 a year. I have a motor scooter which gets 132 miles per gallon. However, 70% of the time I ask a roommate to borrow their car, they say yes. This is because they appreciate the inexpensive rent, the entertainment provided, and the fact that I always return their gas tanks to full. The nice thing about life is that the more we share, the more we have.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Engine Joe say, get the most frequently stolen book in the world.
It sound right, boys.